Questions?
Coach Marv seemed to be in good spirits on the sidelines. How does he help your team from the sidelines?
Well, he's always into it. He's into football day or night. He's a great teammate, very positive. He's a really good leader. His presence is important to us. He helps us a lot more when he's on the field than when he does on the sidelines. So it's unfortunate that he's injured right now, but he'll stay into it. He always does. He's got a great will about it.
Did he tell you what happened?
I don't really know exactly what happened. I was standing there watching it, couldn't believe it. We came out of the game last weekend with a bad bruise, and it's always been diagnosed as a bad bruise, and I guess he got torqued or twisted or had a bad plant, and he's got an injury. We'll have to see what the extent of it is.
Any chance the two were related injury-wise?
I have no idea. That will be complete speculation at this time. I'm not sure it's the same leg, to be quite honest with you. I just know he went down, they carried him off, came back, said he wouldn't be back, and they had some concerns.
Coach, can you talk about their offense, that opening drive? What did they do that seemed to confuse your defense a little bit?
Well, I don't think that our guys played as fast as they could. We have some young guys out there across the defensive front that were rolling in and out of the games, and sometimes there's schemes and people coming at you from all different angles, and I think that's slowed us down some up front. I really thought we'd come in the game and play a lot more physical across the line of scrimmage. I thought we'd penetrate the line of scrimmage and disrupt their front a lot more than what we did. I think they did a good job of fitting up on us and getting after us up front, and they manufactured some holes, and as a result they manufactured a drive. But, that happens sometimes. That's you don't want it to, but it's just one drive. Still for the 3 quarters and 8-9 minutes left in the ball game, and they were up. That's okay. Plenty of time left. We didn't play well enough in the first half. We shot ourselves in the foot a bunch. We didn't have very many plays in the first half offensively. Bob got hurt, and we got disjointed a little bit, and trying to get guys in and out, trying to find out what we can do and get in the rhythm with, and we struggled the first half offensively. Probably did some good things in the second half.
Can you talk about the decision to kick the field goal rather than go for the touchdown there on that 4th down? Inside the 5, there were 8 minutes to go or so.
Yeah, because we had a lot of time left to go. 8 minutes is a lot of time. We had a bunch of timeouts, and I didn't have any question about the call. We'll take our 3 points and go out there, play defense, and stop them, and get back out there and hope we get a short field and drive. What I didn't want to do is walk away with nothing. I felt like we needed to have something positive happen to close the gap a little bit. I don't have any question about the call. I'm sure you guys will, but looking back on it, I do it the same way again. The call I felt like I screwed up on was when it was a 4th down early in the game, and it was 3rd and something, and it went to 4th and short, and I should have lined up real fast and ran a play. And I called for the punt team to go out there. I looked at it. I thought, we're not going to play on our heels, and we need to get some momentum. I didn't think it was all that long of a distance to have to go for, and it gave them a chance to kind of rest up defensively, and that was a poor decision on my part. If I do it over again, I went ahead and punted it, or would have kept the offense out there and went forward on 4th down without having that big delay in there between. That played in their hands. That was poor coaching on my part.
And then, Danny, how disheartening was it after you kicked the field goal? Special teams give up that big kickoff return, so they're starting on your end of the 50.
The timing of this was terrible, and we were doing better in a lot of phases of our special teams. We cover down the field, and we make good plays, and we do good things, but about once a game, that snake rears its ugly head, and someone gets a big return on us and gives us a short field, we're back to the wall. So disappointing, disheartening is to me. It sounds like you got no chance left. We still got to play defense and stop it. Disappointing. It's not disheartening. Disheartening is defeatist, and we don't go out and fit this with a defeatist attitude.
Coach, can you just talk about how this season has been in regards to injuries? You guys just can't catch a break.
It's been difficult, but you can't let that be an excuse. The hard part is continuity. We have good athletes and we have good players. Now it's getting tough, when you have Ralph Bolden out and Keith Smith out, and probably Robert Marv out, and Caleb Turbush was out. So now you're getting your 3rd and 14th quarterback, but they are talented players, and they are guys that if they can learn what to do and execute, they're physically talented enough to win with. we never hardly ever go out there with the same guys. You know, that makes it a struggle play calling wise and getting lined up. You know, we have to be patient, coaching staff wise. They work very hard. Some guys have to look in the mirror and assess what they can do better. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, you can't go in the tank. We're disappointed that we don't have a better record right now. We thought we'd go into the open week 3-1 with some momentum. You know, get a chance to get healed up and get ahead in our preparation for Northwestern. Well, we won't go into the open week 3-1. We'll go into the open week 2-2. We have twice as many wins as we had this time last year. And this time last year we didn't have an open week. You know, and we still have league play. You know, so we can rebound, we can regroup. We'll have to show a lot of strength and you know, a lot of resilience as a football team. But that's what we're about. We've been here before.
Danny, you've had the injuries on offense, but defensively, you've been relatively healthy. You've had a couple guys out. It's a little disappointing that you can't get that continuity on defense at least and make some plays when you need to.
We still really struggle trying to figure out, you know, who our best players are. You know, we have some good young players that need reps and experience, and we have some older players that have reps and experience. And sometimes it's a tough call who to have in a game. You know, we have a lot of young guys in the secondary, and they're all playing hard, and they've done some good things, and they have some redeeming qualities. But we are young in the secondary. But we're very young inside at the defensive line spot. We're rotating 3 or 4 different, you know, big, good, talented, but young defensive tackles in there. And sometimes they play well and hold up, and sometimes they don't. So even though the injuries have happened on the offensive side of the ball, we have a lot of youth on the defensive side of the ball, and it shows up at times.
What about Justin Siller? You have any?
I don't know what, you know, what the situation is with his injury. I'm sure they'll hand me a note in a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. Nobody came over and told me that it was anything that was earth-shattering. They said he was out for the rest of the game, and they let us know something. But knowing if it's something bad or something they think might be serious, they'll usually come back and let me know that it might be serious. I haven't heard anything, you know, about Justin.
Assuming he's healthy, is there any chance that you would consider putting him at quarterback in case of emergency?
Well, it depends on what the prognosis is with Robert Marr. You know, obviously right now, if Robert was out for a while, then we would have Rob Henry, and then we would have Sean Robinson, who's a very good prospect, throws the ball very well, very smart, very fast, you know, very, very talented quarterback. We've been getting him some reps in practice. And then after that, we don't have anybody else. So we might have to get Justin Siller ready some, just from a necessity standpoint, a numbers standpoint. But right now, it would be Henry Robinson, and then we'll see after that.
How do you get the passing game to where it needs to be for you guys?
Well, we have to protect our quarterback better. Probably the most disappointing part was the fact that we gave those sacks up in the end. You know, we've been behind here before by scores like that, and went out there and made some things happen. And we tried to save the timeout some, so we could get out there, maybe manufacture a quick touchdown, and, you know, onside kick the thing and take our shots at it. And we've won games like that around here before. You know, so, you know, again, I didn't think it was over yet, but we gave up 2 sacks right there at the end of the game, and that put a nail in the coffin, unfortunately.
With what you do know about Marv, do you feel good that you could have him for the majority of the Big Ten schedule?
I don't have any idea, to be quite honest with you. It's tough, you know. It's a difficult situation, and you know, anytime you're dealing with injuries and you know, medical diagnosis and prognosis, you know, there's always caution, and so I don't have any idea. You know as much about it as I do. I have absolutely no idea.
Coach,
Yes.
talk about
Go ahead, please.
talk about the resolve that your team faced in the third quarter. You were down 24-3, scored 17 unanswered. Just talk about how your team really showed the effort out there to make a comeback bid in the end.
Well, that part of it was exciting, and certainly I'm proud of our team for going out there and trying hard and making some plays. And when good things happen, we get excited, but we have to do that early in the game. We don't need to be down by 3 or 4 touchdowns before we start playing hard and making things happen. We need to go out there and play well early in the game. You know, obviously we got to do a better job preparing them so that we can be in sync more, you know, and hit a rhythm more early in the game and be more opportunistic early in the game. And we haven't played well early in a few games. That's put us in a hole. We fight and try hard and come back in the end, have a chance to win it. But when you're down 2 or 3 scores in the beginning, that makes it, your odds a lot tougher.
See, the way Carlos Ramsey is a positive for the running game for this year.
It's a real positive, and he ran great on Wednesday. This is the first time that I've seen him practice any football at all I don't know when he got hurt, last spring sometime. So I've never seen him practice a rep this football season until Wednesday. And they put him in there and we ran some inside runs with him and he ran physical and he ran fast and I thought he did a good job with that today. The problem is if you want to check to a pass or if you have a different play that you signal in, you have to look out there to see who's out there, see if that guy has a chance to have a clue on what to do. And that's the difficult part right now. Very, very hard right now to develop any continuity or consistency with the rash of injuries that we have on a regular basis.
What was the update on McPherson's status? He was dressed, right?
He was dressed, so we knew he wouldn't go. He was very, very sore at the latter part of the week. He went out there and tried to jog around a little bit, and next thing you know, he was limping. So we're kidding ourselves to go out there and try to play him in the game today. Keith was healthier, and so we felt comfortable with letting Keith get some carries. And then Danny was healthier. We felt comfortable with Danny out there carrying the ball some, and then tried to manufacture some run game with Antavian and OJ. We've got to get where we're hitting on all cylinders offensively, personnel, substitution-wise, being able to call plays, not to worry about who's in there, see if that guy's practiced at all here in the last 2 or 3 months. We've got to be able to continue establishing the run game, and we've got to press forward from the passing game standpoint in order for us to win out this year.
Toledo converted 60% of their third downs, and a lot of those were 3rd and 1s. What do you have to do to make stops on 3rd down?
Well, we got to control the line of scrimmage. We got to get lined up. They did a good job with the no-huddle offense. Came out there and pressed it real quick a couple times. They do what we refer to as attack, where they line up, they get you to line up, then they look to the sidelines and get a play, or they line up real fast, and if you don't line up real fast, they'll run a play. And they ran a couple of them today when we weren't lined up right, or yet defensively. And that was a difference maker on a couple of the short yard situations, but we've got to come across the line of scrimmage and attack the line of scrimmage more.
It was a sideline infraction that kept alive one of the Toledo scoring drives, and you guys have someone that's designated to help prevent that from happening.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of coaches down there, that works on getting the players and the other coaches to back up. And it's been an emphasis, in officiating the last couple of years. And normally they give you a warning, but if they ever bump into you down there, then it's an automatic flag. And when we got some young coaches out here to get excited, and they're hollering out there to the young players, and one of them stepped out there, and an official bumped into him, so it was an automatic flag, and that hurt us a little bit. That won't happen again, though. We'll get him back or put him up in the press box.
Coach, does this change how you prepare during the bye week scheduling wise? Are you going to stick with you talked about maybe giving some guys a couple days off?
They're going to have a couple days off, because right now we'd be beating a dead horse. It's not, they practice really hard. They worked so hard this summer, it was unbelievable. A lot of young people, a lot of people that really worked hard this summer, and then we had a great camp from an effort standpoint. We didn't have anybody healthy in spring, so we got guys reps that probably normally wouldn't have gotten reps. And we were a long ways away from as a football team when we came out of spring football. But I don't see a change in what we're going to do in the open week. We're going to take a bunch of guys out there that's thin from an injury standpoint, and tired physically and mentally from the effort that they put into it and the challenges that they've had, being such a young football team. So to go out there and to punish them during the open week, I think would be an effort in futility. You'd be beating a dead horse. We got to get healed up, rested up. We have to get physically and emotionally refueled as a football team. And that happens, we can get ready to play well and then start the conference play. We've been here before, and we've got twice as many wins as we had this time last year. So it's not all sunk yet, but we got some growing up to do, that's for sure.
One more, anybody? Danny, Pitch asked about Rob Henry and how he played today, but did you see, just from the eye test, did you see him make progress today compared to last week against Ball State?
I think he's made great progress all season long. He has to be more consistent from a mechanical standpoint in the passing game. He makes very good decisions for the most part. He's not perfect, but at times from a decision-making standpoint, he's close to being excellent. Every once in a while, he sails a wild pitch, and that's usually a result of mechanics. And sometimes he throws the ball very, very well. He threw some really good passes today. He threw some good passes throughout the course of the week. But he's going to be a lot more consistent from a mechanics standpoint. And he did some good things today. And he's going to have to keep getting better, because he could end up being the guy.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.